But we played this deck last week. We went 3-2. 3-2 despite like even like stumbling a little bit, I feel. And one thing I feel like I really wanted to do was main deck 4 copies of Force of Negation. Highway Robbery has been a big upgrade that not only like lets you be like base blue red instead of Jeskai for salvaging, but I think it also just makes you like so much more consistent. Where you just have the extra like free spell to set up for your big turn 3, which I think that means you can afford to play less cantrips. Since you're like your selection quality is higher, which allows you to main deck these Force of Negations, which is gonna make the deck a lot better against creativity and one ring decks and Cascade, which is something that I felt like we were struggling against. I think Surgical is better than the Tormod's Crypts we were playing before, so made that swap in the sideboard. Rest of the sideboard's feeling okay at the moment. Those are islands that are like Phyrexian islands here. Down to 3 gut shots, and I'm also up a land. I'm also up a land after I cut the Serum Visions for Force of Negation, cut a gut shot for 17th land. If we're down 4 Serum Visions, we need to go up a land. The mulligan this on the draw. Let me get the Mox Field up to date too. Okay, keeping this one. I think I'm gonna put back Lightning Bolt. Bolt's a little bit risky, but mulligan. Looks like they're on coffers. So I'm gonna bottom both of these with that impression. What's the French card you really want to be? I'm trying not to focus too much on MHD right now since the set is so sick. So I don't have a great heuristic for exactly at the moment for like plotting versus salvaging in these kind of spots. I think I want to be salvaging this turn. Typically, if I have 2 things to discard, I want to salvaging, and I wouldn't be opposed to discarding the Demilich here. Also, like one thing is Highway Robbery is a bit better to just cast, where salvaging like you really need to like set up turn. Okay, they do have a Bowmaster. Just something we can kind of tank until we find a Gut Shot or Lightning Bolt. Oh, and there's our Gut Shot. I'm gonna wait on this Gut Shot until my turn, I suppose, so I can get that spell cast count up. I don't mind tanking 1 point of damage. Did they update the Mox Field? Okay, I updated the extension and not the Decklist command. So this is a bit of a problem. They're playing Bowmaster and Voidwalker in the main deck, which is a little interesting. I'm trying to think, do I want to have this Gut Shot in the yard right now and -1 life point? They're maybe about playing coffers. They could be playing the non-coffers build. Oh, kind of looks like it. Okay, now let's Gut Shot the Bowmaster. I thought they had main deck Voidwalkers. I would have kept that Bolt. Thought they were just like normal coffers. Exile Demilich. Book for 1. We're gonna get this Phoenix back this turn, which is nice. So I'm gonna discard Island. That's 1 spell cast this turn. 2 spells cast this turn. Very timely. And then I'm probably just gonna plot the Highway Robbery off the Manamorphose if I don't draw anything better. Blue, red. Yeah, I was just going to plot since we already cast enough spells, and then we get to bring back our Phoenix and hit them down to 15. So pretty nice through Bowmaster, Thoughtseize, Voidwalker after we mulliganed. Down to 13 life points. I Gut Shot them. Or should Gut Shot the token. I think it's better than Gut Shotting them. Probably closer than you might expect. Yeah, it looks like the no coffers build. Alright, so let's blue red. Just gonna discard the Spirebluff Canal. Tough. Still not playing the Surveil land. I don't know. It's it's maybe correct to play. It just feels like you have a hard time with the luxury of like this kind of lands. The Edict my Phoenix. See if the Castle Locked Wind takes over the game, or if I can chain some cantrips together. 3 lands in a row, just, you know, flooding with every deck, of course. It is nice that our creatures are just hard castable in the spot, and, you know, it's pretty likely we can chain some cantrips together and bring back an Arclight Phoenix. One thing I like about Highway Robbery, too, is it's you don't need to sandbag like lands in your hand for it, and you don't want to sandbag lands in hand for salvaging either. Where salvaging, if you cast it with no cards in hand, you just get to draw a card. And robbery, you can just sacrifice a land in these kind of spots. I really like the sacrifice a land text on this card. Opponent is at 8 life points at this point. Cast another copy of Dothy Voidwalker. Hopefully we can just bring back a Phoenix. In this situation, better select the land since you can play the Spire for useful mana if we wanted. Maybe. All right, we can preordain into any castable instant or sorcery, which is pretty likely, which we have done. Okay, so I guess we'll just go top. Highway Robbery, cast, sacrifice, Breeding Pool, since we don't have any pick your poisons. Can only cast one of the Demiliches, but should be okay. Call. But it's just nice that both of your looters, you just want to play all of your cards out, for the most part. Which, like, you know, to some extent there was some tension previously with mending and salvaging, where you wanted to hold lands for mending and you wanted to play lands for salvaging. Nice. So good to be up a game. I also bought the promo Demiliches and Phoenixes for today. Gonna bring in the Flame Slashes against the Dothy Voidwalker deck, I think. Maybe not the full 3. Maybe I just play the Flame Slashes over the Gutshot. Gutshot's really nice against Bowmaster. I should probably have 2 Gutshot. Maybe I just get rid of all the forces. They're a ring deck though, so having some forces is okay. I could play Pick Your Poison also for like off chance of Leyline, and I could play Pick Your Poison as my answer to the ring instead of Force of Negation. Force of Negation, not gonna have too many other hits. But neither will Pick Your Poison. Maybe they have like Nile Spellbomb. The Graveyard Hate. So like in my version of Black No Coffers, I have like some hearses in the sideboard, and then they have the Voidwalkers in the main. So this also plays around the like random ass stuff too. So let's bring in the Pick Your Poisons. Why isn't Finale Promise played in Phoenix and Pioneer with no Little Teferi? I don't know. It was good enough in Standard. I just don't know if it's high enough power level in that format. Especially with, you know, you just have Treasure Cruise as your like card draw spell of choice, and there's like some tension there. Brian with the 8 months, thank you, welcome back. But maybe I think with Cruise you probably just don't need it, right? Okay, sadly don't have 3 removal spells for the Grief. They played Necromentia. I wasn't playing Necromentia when I was playing the Black No Coffers deck. Thankfully that deck is starting to pick up steam some. I've been seeing more people playing it, and I think the deck is pretty good, and I've felt like it's been good for a long time, and I'm happy to see people picking it up. No room for utility lands with Otawara with 17 lands of Moon. Yeah, that's my impression at the moment. Just play that tapped. If they have Grief Scam and the Voidwalker in the play, this will be a tough game for sure. But you could play Otawara over like the 7th fetch land if you wanted to. So goodbye Salvaging. 3 cards in their hand. Plays a Demolition Field. So let's go ahead and kill this before they can have another Undying effect up. 3 cards in their hand. Plays tap Sunken Citadel. Got a Bowmaster? No Bowmaster, not yet at least. Maybe I should have fetched first. Was definitely thinking about it, because now I can't like draw the Scour, then Scour over the Phoenix. It's okay, maybe I'll just hit one anyways. Not quite that lucky. Yard is pretty full for a future Demilich at least. they have a ring. It's nice we have a pick your poison. It may field. Oh, sorry. I really should not have got basic island here. So they're fielding my green source so that I can't pick your poison a potential ring. I think that's kind of smart. They play a Voidwalker. Maybe should have scoured in response. Gotta dig for an answer, I think. Why Demilich over Murktide? It's much better in this deck. This deck is this deck is built around Demilich. Demilich is better than Arclight Phoenix also. It's like this is something I don't know. Someone said it pretty well. Every time I play this deck we get the same questions, which is okay, but Demilich is better than Arclight Phoenix, and the two cards play very well together. And I don't know, if you're gonna play Murktide, play normal ass Murktide, right? It's just like there's a formula for how you build that deck, and it's different from this deck's formula. Probably not cracking my Misty, since the kind of takes a turn off their clock. I think there's also a pretty good chance they have an Undying effect, so let's just cast this Phoenix and then Kraken for 6 here. The problem with Undying effect on the Voidwalker too is that if I Flame Slash it, they are just going to kill me. They are up to 4 mana here, so we'll see if they have Grief or Shieldred. Yeah, but right now we're just winning the race. Or sorry, Ring or Shieldred. They have Ring, so we get to go Flame Slash, pick your poison. Maybe should have cracked the fetch there. Four cards in their hand. Five cards in their hand. The Dothy Voidwalker. I only have 1 Lightning Bolt left in my deck too. I have 2 more Phoenixes. So I'm not at this point. I am not going to crack the fetch. We'll make them have a Dothy, a Bowmaster or a Shieldred for them to win this race. They could have a Cling to Dust. I think I'm still scouring them. I don't know how much it matters. Good to know that they have Surgical. Surgical is pretty scary. I'm going to attack for 6, and hopefully we can just win this game. Not expecting my opponent to have Bowmaster. Kind of surprised they took so long on the field. I have no more basics. I am hoping they don't have a push. Okay, so now I need to draw Phoenix or Bolt to win the race, and then they also have to have not much, which is bad news. Can also draw Flame Slash for the Voidwalker, but I highly suspect they have an Undying effect in their hand. Happy they didn't go after my red sources, because that they could have just like basically left me with no outs. Oh, another ring. Right. Got Grief Scammed. It is. Thinking maybe I should have, since we saw that they're on Surgical over Hearst, let's play some Forces. You can occasionally force a Surgical. I think on the play, also I'm just going to go down to 1 Gut Shot. Click the Submit button. So also seeing how aggressively our opponent was going after the breeding pools, like we could maybe get them to do that again. Surgical, the thing, they Surgical. Yeah, that could be an interesting strategy. It's like, does not really feel like super good plan. But boy, is it a plan. Is it wrong to bring in Blood Moon against them? Yeah, I think so. That's on a mulligan to 6. Mulligan to 5. Aaron with the 25 months, thank you so much. Welcome back. Glad you're still liking the stream. Why doesn't it play Lava Darts? So you don't want to be sacrificing your lands in this build. You want to be able to do your thing kind of every single turn Like, what's nice about this deck is you do your thing, you put a bunch of Phoenixes and Liches into play. If your opponents remove them or they interact with you, you just can get to, like, untap and use your lands that are in play to chain a bunch of cantrips together. So I tend to find Gutshot to be the better 0 mana spell, especially because you can draw into it and play it without having it to be in the graveyard. So it's going to Multi-5 and Grief Scam me. The classic Grief Scam pause. Timeless Lotus Bow, get any new tools with Thunder Junction? Don't think so. Yeah, I every time I play this Phoenix deck, like half of the comments in chat feel like suggesting creatures I don't want to play. I don't want to play any more creatures in the deck. I think you just don't want to be turning on your opponent's removal. It's really nice that all your creatures are so recursive, and playing non-recursive creatures is something I have done and have really disliked in the past. So they take my salvaging. I'm gonna go ahead and Thought Scour first. Milled over Demilich, and then I drew Arclight Phoenix. Oh no! I actually have no idea how that happened. Opponent, no mercy. Feels so bad here. Like, we're just in such good shape. If I suspend this Highway Robbery, I'm like so annoyed. I actually don't even know how I got lag death here. I'm gonna save the consider. In that spot. Like, I don't feel that I misclicked there, but obviously I did. Be cool to win anyways. Okay, let's start off with a Highway Robbery. Discard an Arclight Phoenix. Draw 2. Blue-red. Cast Consider. Graveyard this Salvaging. Play Spirebluff Canal. And then I think I'm going to just salvage, discard Scalding Tarn. Now, am I going to attack with this Phoenix? I think, yeah. I feel like we're just winning this game, like, for surezies if I don't time walk myself on turn 2. Okay, definitely gonna sack the Phoenix. Three cards in their hand. Down to 5 life points. Not the highest. Rebound this Salvaging. I'm gonna discard the Highway Robbery, I think. Interesting pickup. So now I'm probably gonna, like, bolt the Grief with the intention to, like, leave back 2 blockers for it. That's doable. It seems doable. I wonder if I even should bolt the Grief here. It seems so likely that they just have another Undying effect. I wonder if I just should be leaving them both back to block and, like, trying to consider into a blue card to hold up Force of Negation. I think the problem with that play is I'm too cold to another Shielder's Edict. So I'm going to go for the Lightning Bolt. Would certainly feel a lot more comfortable if I had another blue card. Oh, fuck. Oh, I can just play the Demilich from the yard. Sorry, if they take the Lich, I could just cast it. Never mind. Took the Highway Robbery. Okay. So see if they have a... I beat Shielder's Edict here, and they would have to have Revolt for Fatal Push, so it doesn't feel super likely I'm just going to die right now. Aren't I cold to an Edict anyways? Yeah, I guess so. No, I'm not cold, because I just would sack this, right? I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe I shouldn't have played so hard around it. Seemed okay to bolt there. Probably overthinking it. My opponent is tapping a black mana. Has push in hand. Yeah, maybe he has push with no way to revolt. Clings to Dust, exiles a Manamorphose. Then taps another black source. Thought seizes away my Force of Negation down to 14 life points. Unlikely going to attack. I have 11 points of power here. No Lightning Bolt in the graveyard. Should I just have Snap attacked? Okay, I think I'm just going to attack with one Demilich here. Gonna keep that one. Went down to 10 life points. So I guess we go top, mill this Phoenix into the yard, but we can't get it back this turn. Yeah, not really a big problem. Oh, I have an island. I don't have an island left in the deck. Okay, let's go play Breeding Pool tap then. Your turn. Is Robbery better there? They both see 2 cards. I think it's better to see 2 cards for 1 mana than 2 mana. And one, gets 2 cards, so maybe you're right. So my opponent's drawn their 3rd land. Okay, we're gonna go Slash the Grief. Get pinged for 1. Down to 3. It gives it the GGs. Okay, so very nice to win that game despite Magic Online really boning us. Skipping our turn. Happens pretty rarely. Shouldn't we being Thought Scour on our upkeep? No. I don't think what is the reason to do that in that spot? And yeah, why? Why would I not just main phase and see if I find anything else to do that turn? Opponent, Leyline of the Guild packs me. Leyline Scion is very, very tough to beat game 1. I think I'm going to consider here on turn 1, so what I can do on turn 2 is go like Manamorphose, blue, Preordain, and then if I see a Phoenix, I can Thought Scour it into the yard. Don't know if I can beat Leyline Scion game 1. Let's try. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just best to like not reveal what I'm playing. Okay, graveyard that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to concede for info, which is, tough to be doing. Definitely one problem with this deck is being very cold game 1 to Leyline Scion. We get to bring in a bunch of Pick Your Poisons. Not sure. I think I'm just going to Pick Your Poison for Force against them. Just quadruple block. I guess that could do it. Seems okay to just say we're not very likely to beat at game 1 and we'll concede so they don't know what we're on. Yeah, you could main deck Pick Your Poison. Yeah. We don't necessarily have all of these lootings. Like Highway Robbery can sometimes, like the fact that this can only discard 1 card has been kind of a problem. But yeah, you could maybe main deck some Pick Your Poison. I think it just depends on how much Leyline Scion there is, and it feels like there isn't a ton of it in the leagues at the moment. You could bring in Blood Moon. I think it's kind of awkward because if they just have a resolved, it's awkward because you can't really cast Pick Your Poison with Moon, and then it's also awkward if they have a Leyline and a basic like Moon does nothing. Dark Matter 9 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So for these reasons, I'm not bringing it in. Moon is mostly an anti-Titan sideboard card in our deck that has a little bit more versatility. Like you could bring it in against creativity. You want to Preordain turn 1, maybe mess with their fetching a little bit before I Pick Your Poison. Also, of course, I want to find another land. I think I'm going to bottom the Scour. You could probably keep the Scour here if you wanted to. Now it is pretty obvious I have the Pick Your Poison, but I think I'm just going to pass. I think it's really bad if they like Spell Pierce my Pick Your Poison and then play a Scion, and it feels like also pretty reasonable for me to just like Pick Your Poison the Scion too, and maybe let this be not that impactful. Oh, they're rhinos. Okay, cool. Can graveyard this for some value. So let's go cast Manamorphose. Blue-red. Cast Manamorphose. Blue-red. Then pick your poison. Make them sacrifice an enchantment. I'm gonna be playing around endurance here now by going cast Highway Robbery and then escape Demilich before they can endurance both my Demilich and my Phoenix. I'll leave a pick your poison in the yard. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess what I should have done here is got shot in response to the mystical dispute so I could cast Demilich before an endurance. No, I'll just got shot and then Lich again. Much 15 months, thank you, welcome back. So let's see if they have a Cascade spell here. Does have a Cascade spell. Three cards in their hand after this. Usually like the Preordain before scouring so I can like mill a Phoenix to the top and scour into the yard sometimes. Milled over a Demilich. Guess I'm not really too worried about my opponent blocking with the agent this turn. Mr. Schwarz, in the 4 months. Appreciate you. Okay, so now I have 3 instants and sorceries in my yard. Would a planet playing Abundant Harvest achieve anything? It's just very tough on the mana for, I think, not enough payoff would be my estimation, but would not be the worst. Kind of close between graveyarding and not graveyarding. I think I'm going to keep on top to just try to fill the yard for the next Demilich. I'm not 100% sure. This is coming down next turn, right? Oh, 2 turns. Nice. Probably worse than any other cantrip. More because it's green than blue. If it was blue, I would probably be playing it, yeah, but just makes the mana like so much more rough. Okay. So at this point, oh, they're gonna Exalted the Rhino. Play. Really good play. Take this hit. Down to 6. We drew a Lightning Bolt, so if we could find a Phoenix, we kind of have it easy peasy win. If we mill one over the Scour. Draw a Highway Robbery. Now another Demilich in my yard too. So I guess I'm going to go cast Highway Robbery. Discard a Salvaging. Cannot cast both these Lightning Bolts. Wait, I can cast both these Lightning Bolts if I Demilich Manamorphose. Okay. Looks like lethal to me, with exactly enough life to pay for Fetch Shock and Gut Shot. Oh, I should just Demilich back the bolt, duh. They do a Force of Negation no matter what. Imagine Archive Trap here, or Mindbreak Trap. Okay, going to game 3. So they are Domain Rhinos after all. It's like quietly the best deck in Modern, or quietly a very good Modern deck that is underplayed. Flame Slashes are looking really nice since they kill a Rhino or a Scion, and you can flashing back Flame Slash with Demilich seems kind of nice. Do I want to play Force of Negation? Maybe like 3 and go down to like. I want to play like 2. Let's play 1. Bolt's not very good against them, right? Yeah, let's play 1. It was pretty good that game. Could also just play the full 4 forces. Probably have Teferis in their deck too. Surgical is not good against Rhinos. It's like, they have 10 power in play. Let me Surgical so you can't do that again. And then, oh no, you have 10 power. I'm dead. You didn't have double red for the bolts? Oh, I didn't have double red, right? I just had the tap Spirebluff Canal. Maybe there's a moment I'm forgetting, but I think you're right, actually. I'm gonna keep. Let's see. So salvaging would be a good bit better than Highway Robbery, I guess, in this spot. My opponent is on a mulligan to 6. You had 2 red if you didn't cast Robbery. I don't think that's true. I don't think I had a red land in my hand. I think I drew it off Robbery. But, yeah, I could be wrong. No leyline this time. Yeah, because no leyline, I don't think we need to prioritize. We don't have pick your poison in our hand either. Let's just get the steam vents. I think I'm going to bottom both. I really want to draw a land for next turn. I want to start with a land. I don't have to like dig for a land. We're on the draw with a Preordain. We miss our second land drop. It is what it is. But if we can plot this Highway Robbery with a Manamorphose in our hand, we're like very likely to put at least 3 creatures in play on turn 3. Feels like I should get spells for free. I mean, Demilich is very, very good. I don't know, without also casting the dang thing for free. Thank you, Preordain. Epic Freddy, thank you for the 6 months. Had to get Prime for Fallout, so my loss is your win. Hell yeah. It's a good show. I definitely recommend it. Esther loved it too. Yeah, the Surgical is good against when they surveil footfalls into the yard. These hands make me miss Faithless Looting. Yeah, we all miss Faithless Looting, huh? Surveil a forest into the yard this time. 2 4/4s. Let's see if we can do better than that on our turn 3. Right on time. Force of Negation. Blue. I think I'm supposed to go top so that I can consider a second Phoenix into the graveyard. Then let the birds fly. I'm going to save this consider for Force of Negation. Spike, have you thought about Murktide over Demilich? No. Yeah, no disdain, of course. It's just people just hate Demilich, and the card is like, I just don't. I feel like I'm always so impressed by it. Yeah, let's cast this Manamorphose. It might just be correct to cast a Phoenix, but I have so many like sick hits, including this Flame Slash. Wow. Yeah, we're so back. The Force of Negations have definitely seemed nice to have access to so far. It's just so good when your whole thing is like put a bunch of shit into play on turn 3, and these are also providing you card advantage. Just having Force of Negation to hold up main deck seems so nice. See about also sideboarding Subtleties. Definitely do that. Can't Force of Negation. We're on our turn. I'm sure someone in chat is wondering why not. They go to 1 life point. Yeah, we were joking about playing Satora on this deck. Yep, tune them. Ooh, we got 4 gut shots. Or 3, sorry, down to 3 gut shots. Can we find one off this Preordain? Cannot, and I can't really put back this Demilich. So maybe a game to try to go for stuff on turn 2. Also, again, it's kind of tough to... If we can find Gut Shot, we can, you know, Demilich... Okay, being on the draw against Cauldron is tough here. Right on time, Force of Negation. I guess we are going to... Thought I would know what I was going to do after I was done saying that. Is that what... This matchup is straight cheeks? Maybe. I'm not sure... It's definitely a lot worse now because of Cauldron. Have some good sideboard cards. It's probably... I think I used to like the matchup, but I think Cauldron probably does make it bad. Yeah, Shielded is pretty good. We don't really have many answers to it. If the Force of Negation had been in our hand to force the Cauldron, if it was like just 1 card, I guess I could have bottomed the Lich and drawn it. Wait to know that was happening. I'm gonna discard the Force here. Then I think I'm supposed to consider once in response here. Did mill over a Demilich and a Phoenix. It's going to be good to overwhelm their resources. Discard probably Steam Vents. Draw another Salvaging. And then for turn, what do we draw? Then for turn, what do we draw? When it's thinking, I guess, about... Okay, they're exiling the Lich now, which means we're going to get at least 1 Phoenix back. Okay, so we go Manamorphose Salvaging 2 Phoenixes and a Demilich through the Cauldron activation. With Force of Negation up, which won't be the most relevant, but... I suppose I am... Oh, wait. They exiled the Lich up from the yard. Sorry, I forgot about that. I have the one from the hand. Yeah, but I think I'm just ignoring Grist, right? Because they have Cauldron. I also need to kill them. This is no. Do not play any more threats in this deck, in my opinion. Every time I play this deck, the chat is just full of Spike. Have you considered this card that works with instants and sorceries? Yes. Don't play them. None of them work with the formula like Phoenix and Demilich. You don't need more threats. You get to do this. You see this thing that we're doing? You just want to be casting cantrips and doing this thing. You don't want to cut spells for creatures. I feel very confidently about this, but you can do whatever you want, I guess. Want to discard the Lich instead of the Steam Vents? Because they had Agatha's Soul Cauldron in play at the time. I guess they were going to use it once, so maybe that would have been fine. Yeah, you could just cast. Yeah, Lich is crazy. You just cast it from your hand for free. You don't it doesn't have to be in your yard like Phoenix is. Lich is so good. Love for my opponent's like main face chord. That would be so nice. Okay, pluses the Grist. Hello, the 60 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Boom. Sorry, I'll just save up for the deck tech. But thank you for the 16. Yeah, let's just Pioneer Legal. Definitely. Now you have one kind of 0 mana effect to combo with it. You had 0 before. But now you have the Highway Robbery, which is something. Yeah, no Manamorphose, no Gut Shot, no Salvaging is tough, though. But now you have something to, like, actually cast a turn 3. Cast a Halfling, 3 cards left in hand. We won the die roll here, we were maybe cooking. Can they activate Yawgmoth here? I think they can. Oh, this is how they can activate Yawgmoth. Nice line. But this isn't they shouldn't be main phasing the activation, I suppose. Well, they can still do it because they have the insect token to tap for mana. So my need, I guess, is to find a gut shot, or sorry, lightning bolt for this insect token, or the Wall of Roots before. So that way I can bring my phoenixes back if they kill them pre-combat, or I can actually get in for some damage. Found a gut shot. Discard the Force of Negation, I guess. Want to be Thought Scouring in response so that if you find a Phoenix, you can discard it to the Salvaging Rebound. I guess we only have 2. We have 1 Gut Shot and 2 Lightning Bolts to find, so actually not very much. So I have to graveyard this, and then we do find 2 Gut Shots. So now we have to do... Because if I don't do this, they're going to activate Wall of Roots, tap Insect, to proliferate. They can use the green mana from Wall of Roots because of Agatha's Cauldron, proliferate, kill both of these things. But now if I kill this Insect token, they have to do it main phase 1, which means that my Phoenixes would come back. Do I pay life for this? I think I should pay life for this, so that if they don't proliferate, I get to cast Bolt off Lich. Yeah, it's black, but Cauldron lets them spin green as if it were black. Okay, deck tech for... Okay, so yeah, Atlas Shaka is paid for your deck tech if you want to post in the chat. I did say that already. It's okay. It's okay. It's a complicated game. Wait, why are they doing this now? Okay, they're floating a green. And they're killing my Demilich. So I'm gonna go to combat. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that they're gonna proliferate. They do. They're like just taking 2 more damage. Could gut shot my own Phoenix, but doesn't seem correct. Wait, they are plur? Oh wait, they have Cord for 1. Okay, so they're gonna use this to kill my Phoenixes. I don't think I'm supposed to be gut shotting still. Okay, deck tech for Atla. Give me a second. Oh, you 5-0'd? Cool. Boy, do I not understand these kind of decks. Okay, I kind of see what you're doing. Okay, so they're taking 2 from this Phoenix. So now I need to hope that they have to pay at least 4 life to find their Blood Artist, or maybe I can try to just gut shot their Blood Artist. Not sure. Giver, Ragavan, Gatekeeper, Eidolon, Mage, Bane Lizard, Scalding Viper. Boy, this deck sure is doing one thing, huh? How was this card? This card good? Kind of feel like you should just play the 4th Ohere accidentally. You feel... Looks like you're pretty in on it. The main deck surges in this kind of list are interesting. They could be good. I think Cemetery Gatekeeper is likely not a very strong card, but... Yeah, every card in your deck is just so good with Ohere. I'd probably cut the 4th Specialist for the 4th Ohere. Looks pretty sweet. Not necessarily my kind of deck. Feels like the red and white channel lands would be really nice. You have Ragavan. You have a bunch of legends. I feel like I'm definitely playing one Sokenzon, one a Ganjo. You really just don't need to play that many blue sources. Like you could like pretty easily cut the, like one of the two blue sources when you only have like the bounce on this. Could also pretty easily cut some fetch lands. Cyber looks pretty cool. Don't play Path to Exile. Play Solitude over Path to Exile. I guess that's kind of awkward. Life Gain's actually kind of awkward, huh? Can you play Change the Rocks? You probably need a third Wear Tear for Leyline Scion. Yeah, I feel like you need a third Wear Tear. Although you buy out of the Bywater, so maybe not. Looks cool. Don't think I have a lot more thoughts than that. One less fourth O here, one less blue source. Yeah, I don't think you want Solitude. Probably play Chain to the Rocks. I just think there's just so many good removal spells. You don't have to play Path. Unfortunately, because I was deck teching, I like paused forever on this Yawgmoth thing, or I think I'm just bluffing a Lightning Bolt in my hand really well. With this with me pausing forever on the Yawgmoth activation, it just really looks like I have Lightning Bolt time. So shout out to the deck tech. First time ever deck tech cool play on accident instead of deck tech punt. White Spree over Wear Tear. Yeah, it could be good to try out. You're dead to putting a counter on Yogg, double perforate attack, Grist activation. That's their job to figure out. Ob with the 12 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They're minusing the Grist. They have a lot of extra mana from the Wall of Roots now, but they've also now tapped their Agatha's Soul Cauldron, which means that I could maybe Lightning Bolt off the Demilich. If they, I will if they don't kill it. So they're gonna go proliferate. Can they just double proliferate and kill me? They can't ultimate the Grist. I'm at 13. This right now is 10. Yeah, I guess 10 plus 3 does it. I don't know if but it doesn't work if they've already used this mana. I think they're going to be 1 point short of lethal. We did play a land last turn. We were on the draw this game. Horrible, I know. Yes. Oh, okay. I've miscounted somewhere. Oh, I always forget that the Wall of Roots doesn't reduce the power. I always think it's a -1 counter instead of a -1. Okay, going to game 2. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the slashes. I feel like Surgical's probably pretty solid against them too. Bring in the totems, going to cut the Force of Negations. Don't know if how many I want. Maybe we don't play this card. Yeah, I haven't updated Satorial Humans list. I don't know if I'm going to get to it today. I want to get to it today. I can't necessarily do the longest stream ever today, but I may go get another caffeine. Don't bring a moon. No poison versus Cauldron. I don't think so. It's maybe we need it. The thing about Cauldron, like you saw that game, is you can tank one activation a turn, and it's tough because we're already bringing in like 5 other sideboard cards. It's kind of just tough to need green mana. It's tough to bring in more than more sideboard cards, especially when they're more removal spells and we already have this many. I think we need all the gunshots because they're on Ignoble Hierarch. So, I think you can tank Cauldron well enough to go for this. Blood Moon is mostly for Titan. Would you rather play Magus for that matchup? You could play Magus. The thing is, I also want to bring it in against creativity, or at least that's what I'm thinking at the moment. I would want the option to bring it in other matchups too. I know people keep suggesting boarding it against mono black, no coffers, and Yawgmoth. Don't bring it in those matchups, but there are other matchups like maybe 4-color Omnath where you could bring in the Blood Moons. Why don't you play Demand Answers? It's so you want your 2 mana looters to be salvaging and highway robbery because these effectively let you play a 0 mana spell on turn 3 to have 4 spells for Demilich, or like more easily hit your spell count for Arclight Phoenix. Demand Answers is mostly just as instant speed tormenting voice, which is a lot worse than the other looters we have, and we're not interested in playing more. Okay, I'm gonna play Spirebluff Canal, pass the turn. Safe to see more Esper Demir's game in the virtual future. Yeah, I want to play updated Esper build. There's just obviously so much to do, but I do want to try to solve Satoro. I want to find the best Satoro builds, and I'm working on updated Esper build. We have updated humans build. I'm working on a graveyard focused build too. So I'm gonna wait on the salvaging. I want to see if they play an Agatha's Soul Cauldron or not. If they BOWMASTERs, it's really not that big a deal. I'm at 18 after this. So I'm going to gut shot on my turn in response to the salvaging. I'm going to go ahead and be optimistic and pay 2 life. Can graveyard this and get some value. I guess I'm just going to lightning bolt this orc army though, because I want to keep this Consider in the yard because I'm kind of out of gas. So being able to cast it off the Lich next turn seems pretty good. Not a bad turn 3. You got no board state. Our old friend, Dryad Arbor. Definitely accept that top deck. Okay, graveyard this Phoenix. Draw another Steam Vents, getting a little flooded. Thinking about double blocking? Be a funny double block. Just play the Toady, play a tap Steam Vents. No, let's fetch again. Need to draw some spells. Maybe we should be back at 16 lands. I don't know. I cut 4 Serum Visions. Going up a land seemed pretty dang reasonable. Yeah, I'm undecided on the Surveil land at the moment. Surveil land definitely seeming pretty reasonable. I'm a little concerned because like tap lands can really hurt you in this deck. Like if you just like can't play 3 spells in a turn because you have a tap land, you're dead, or like you've just lost this game. So I'm like way more scared to play a Surveil land in this deck than I am in like almost any deck. But you know, of course there are plenty of spots where we would get it. You know, of course. So I'm not sure. We should maybe just try it out. So I guess I'm going to go flashback the Flame Slash. They're going to Cauldron the Flame Slash in response. And then I need to probably stop them from chump blocking, just putting them to 3 when I have an Arclight Phoenix in play against Yogg. Deal. I'm enjoying the Surveil land. It lets you keep turn 1. Removal heavy, turn 1s, or combo later turns with free Surveil. I get it. I get why you want it. And there's obviously big upside to playing the Surveil land and big downside. So think about it some more. Frinzo with the gifted sub. Thank you, so thank you. Welcome, Patrick. But like, yeah, I get it. I get that the Surveil land is both very good and very bad in this deck. Just kind of like Dryad Arbor and Yogg. Opponent's on less than 10 minutes for game 3. Probably plenty of time. Anything I want to do on the draw? Nah. Like the plan. I'm going to click the submit button. Be right back. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. 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 So we're on the draw. What's up? Still have not had to take a game action. Gonna keep on the draw against Young, yeah. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. Puts on a mull to 6. They took a long time on that mulligan. Bolt the bird. Play Dryad Arbor. That's a Dryad Arbor. So probably gonna cast Wall of Roots or Cauldron. Gonna return into Boombust Rise Shine deck. Probably not anytime super soon. Well, I got a Cursed Totem. Need a second land. We're on the draw here. Missed on our first 4 looks. Might Bolt Gut Shot the Grist. Let's try to find a second land. I'm gonna bottom the Preordain. Could be totally fine to keep. How do you feel about gut shotting the insect token? Not good enough. Would be doing that because of Court of Calling. Yawgmoth Thran Physician. Gonna save the Manamorphose here. Just gonna cast the Toady here. They don't sack the insect in response. It's got me a little bit concerned that they have like Besage or something in their hand. How's that for or something? I'm gonna go and gut shot the Rexage in response to the trigger, I think. Could we have played Lich if we got shotted? Yeah, but they've got a Yawgmoth in play. I have to cast Cursed Totem. Yeah, we played the Ninja deck last league. We 3-2 last league. It was very fun. We had some sick turns. Played worse decks, played better decks before. Okay, okay. So if we can like find a red source and go slash this Yawg, I'm feeling pretty good. Come on, consider. Yes! On the turn we kill Ghost. Oh, could we have? Oh, you're right. We could have just gone gut shot into Demilich. Oops, that was a big punt then. Yeah, you just imagine the Steam Vince is like the Surveil land. I don't know. Not saying that that's what we would cut, but it's just so important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they could court for a Bowmaster. If they're gonna court for Bowmaster, I want to scour first so that I can kill the Bowmaster, maybe. Okay, so let's go. Let's flame slash this Wall of Roots, and so if they have court, I can kill something. If they don't have court, I can just like cantrip. I think I'm gonna Preordain. Could definitely see casting different cantrip. Be interesting if they were sandbagging the Bowmaster. Seems okay to keep both of these. I'm gonna bottom to consider, actually. I want to like find a creature. But Manamorphose is just kind of like, you can't put it back almost ever in the stack. Okay, opponent's taking 4 down to 13. 2 cards in their hand. 7 minutes on the clock. It says GG's. I'll accept a concession. I guess their hand was pretty bad. Nice to win that match. Deck's looking great. Let's get a trophy prediction going. I think to circle back to Jace Reawakened. I had a pretty bad like 2 matches I played with it, but then like Dingo's like 9-1 with his Grixis build, 0-3 the challenge or something. Very high variance, but I do want to circle back to that card. There's a lot to be doing at the moment, and like to some extent, like I'm the most excited for the potential of like Phoenix to be a real deck in Modern again. I know I've been like it's been so close so many times, but Robbery is like huge upgrade for the deck. The mana is better, the deck's more consistent. There's like now the breathing space I think to play Force of Negation in the main, where it's just like you're just like I think less consistent with the mendings. Also like we were talking about this earlier. There was some tension previously when you had mending over Highway Robbery, where Faithless Salvaging wanted you to play out all of your lands so that you could just cast Salvaging for 0, then just draw a card without needing to discard a card. But Mending wanted you to hold lands in hand to loot away. But it's because you can sacrifice a land to Highway Robbery, there's not that like small tension, which I think is really nice. A chance at a Baral version deck. I've said this a lot. Just don't play any more creatures. The whole time, every time I play Phoenix, the whole chat is, Spike, what about these creatures that work with instants or sorceries? I'm just not going to think that these cards are optimal. I've played like with Channeler, I've played with Murktide in these decks, and it just isn't where you want to be, in my opinion. You want to be playing just a bunch of like you just play Demilich, just play Phoenix, I think. Okay, I wasn't gonna cast this into the counter, but because I get a Phoenix back, I'm gonna cast it here. Yeah, I think it was the Ancestral Vision build that was doing well. I'm not convinced Vision is better than Profane Tutor in that deck, but it might be. What I like about Vision in that deck is the mana curve too. Like you just don't have it like fits the curve a lot better than the other two. Yeah, it's like DRC is better than any like it's better than Slick Shot Show Off in this deck. I don't know, it's just better than any it's the thing you could suggest, I think, and it's not good enough. And you just don't want to be playing like 1 and 2 mana, even Murktide. You just don't want to be playing creatures that turn on your opponent's creature removal. Opponent's down to 12. Kind of weird time to cast Unholy Heat. Got a Spell Pierce. That's what I thought. No, you can't have good mana and Tribal Flames. I think I've actually thought about it before in decks like this, but no. Don't think so. Not good enough mana. No Gut Shot. That being said, I'm just gonna bring back 3 Phoenixes next turn, I guess, unless they counter my rebound. Maybe they go like Manamorphose Murktide. The Morphos will go to my yard, not theirs. They don't cast the Manamorphose. They're gonna hold up counter spell. See if they counter the rebounded Salvaging. I think pretty reasonable for them to choose not to, since like they only get really punished by the 3rd Phoenix. Even if they counter, still counts as cast, but I just want to get the Phoenix in the yard. So here, I guess I'm kind of hoping they counter the Manamorphose, and I just bolt them, and if they have nothing, they're dead. And if they have something, they're at 1 life. This was a game where my opponent went turn 1 DRC, turn 2 counterspell, turn 3 Ragavan Heat, or no, so just Heat on turn 3, then Ragavan counterspell. Phoenix is, I think Murktide is your best matchup as Phoenix, especially now with the Pick Your Poisons. All right, we're flying. I'm bringing in the Pick Your Poisons. It's really nice that this matchup Pick Your Poison doesn't just kill their creatures; it can kill their Graveyard Hate that they bring in. So I think we're just Pick Your Poison over Force and clicking the submit button, easy sideboarding. The discard is not a cost. Yes, salvaging, if you have no cards in your hand, we were talking about this. Salvaging, if you have no cards in your hand, you can just cast and draw. And what I really like about that is Highway Robbery also like kind of incentivizes you to just play out all your lands. You don't need to hold lands to loot away because you can just sack a land later in the late game. Where like basically every other looter that you could play, like even Faithless Looting would or Faithless Salvaging would, wants you to sandbag lands to discard. So I really like that both of these don't mind if you just play out a land every single turn. There's like basically no reason to worry about sandbagging them. Yeah, so Thundering Falls, we've been talking a lot about this. Very high upside, obviously, in a deck like this with lots of graveyard synergies. Very, very big downside where you just need to cast 4 spells on a turn for your Demiliches and your Phoenixes, or 3 for your Phoenixes. And if you just have a tap land, a lot of times it can be the difference between doing the thing and not doing the thing. So at the moment, I'm thinking the downside of having a tap land in your deck does not weigh the upside of playing a Surveil land. It could. It's very, very, very tough. Very tough to say without playing it. So maybe we should be playing it or not. But at the moment, I am not. Harsh Mentor into Yogg. I mean, Harsh Mentor is a card that is good against Yogg, but they can also kill it pretty easy. It's kind of like a Boros Charm against them. Yeah, these are Phyrexian basic islands. I think they look pretty cool. Which of them is replaced if looting is legal? Probably Highway Robbery. I think Salvaging is better than Robbery. Robbery is really nice against Graveyard Hate and counter spells, though, where you just if they're holding counter spell, you just plot. But Salvaging can discard 2 things, and Salvaging can also be like a real card advantage spell. But yeah, looting is also not going to be legal again, probably. There's just like so much design space. Although I guess, they did finally give us something else in Highway Robbery, but there's just like a lot of design space between like these cards and looting. That let's see something in between a Salvaging Highway Robbery and a Faithless Looting first. There's a lot of room between these 2 cards. Boros Charm against Yogg. Yeah, Harsh Mentor, Yawgmoth will like sacrifice 2 things, kill Harsh Mentor, and then Harsh Mentor will deal 4. So that's 4 damage, which is a Boros Charm. There is a 1-mana draw 1, discard 1, but it's a creature. Yeah, it would be a sorcery would be cool. I think those pass lanes are really important, just for like not a lot of life loss, especially when you have all the gut shots. But I don't know, the surveil land, it doesn't really matter which land you cut for it, I think. It just kind of matters if you play it or not. Don't know if that makes sense. We don't mill over both breeding pools with Scour. Pick your poison for Hearse. I mean, Pick your poison is just great against Murktide. It kills Murktide, Channeler, Hearse, and Ledger Shredder. Super good against them. It's nice that it does all of that. Can we play Surveil Land as like land 18 over a forest on a spell slot? You could, yeah. You could. You could just play it as land 17. I'm not convinced it's wrong, but again, the big problem is just how big a downside it has, and I don't know, you can play it or you can not. So hopefully my opponent doesn't have a Graveyard Hate spell, but I feel like I'm just supposed to prioritize resolving the Salvaging. Just James, 37 months, thank you so much. That name is done with the 13. Sorry for having the notifications muted. They are finding second land. Oh, thankfully no unlicensed hers. The blue-white Coatblade you played a month ago. I think that deck has kind of gotten to nicely evolve into this Esper Satoro deck that we have been working on that I think has been looking pretty good. I'm going to be trying to figure out some updates for that deck for later this week. But I would recommend the Esper Satoro builds, I think, over the older build we had there. I can go and pretty cleanly graveyard this, of course, and then I guess I'll bolt them so I can play both Liches this turn. Seems like that would make some sense. It's kind of bad against Surgical on Demilich. I would not play Fire Islet in the deck. You just don't want to be sacking lands for the most part. You just want to be having your lands in play so you can chain cantrips together, do your thing. Your turn. Sarkaz Phoenix lethal next turn. Maybe. Not anymore, I guess. They have Subtlety? And Subtlety me casting the Lich from the yard. We're going to play around Surgical Demilich. Could we have cast the Lich from hand first? If you as soon as you cast the one from the yard, it's on the stack. That you can't like respond to casting Demilich from the yard with a surgical. So I'm gonna fetch a breeding pool before I scour, I guess. And there's a chance I actually just cast Pick Your Poison to bring back my Phoenix in the yard. So let's just have a canal first. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna do that. Pick a mode. So if I gut shot my opponent, yeah, I'll just target bolt and gut shot, and then I beat like a spell pierce or counter spell or lightning bolt or unholy heat. Or do I? I guess. Hold on. Yeah, not heat on Demilich, I guess. So let's just scour so we can bring our Lich back. I guess can bring it back off of any cantrip. Maybe it was better to Preordain. But also just filling up the yard so we can keep casting Demilich is just so nice. Let's keep that Pick Your Poison in the yard. Let's keep the lightning bolts at this point. Yeah, the Magic and Shog was good. Control for Days is a good player. Yeah, I guess in pure modern you probably play Serum Visions over Force of Negation. What are Demiliches in D&D lore? So I always feel like Demilich implies that it's like a less powerful Lich, but apparently it's like a more powerful Lich. I can't remember exactly like if they just don't have a phylacticary. I never know how to say that word. I'm sure someone can tell you. Pure Modern is something like Doomwake organizes. It's modern without Modern Horizons 1, 2, or Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna go to 6, I think. Alright, I guess I like this one more. It's a huge franchise for a reason. I mean, I read all the books as a kid. I don't know. I thought the Magical Beast stuff was dumb. I don't know. It's not for me. Just not for me. I'm gonna keep. J.K. Rowling is also incredibly cringe. Scalding Tarn, huh? Well, I mean, this is the Get Spell Pierce stream, but if this is Murktide, we can at least, like, take solace in the fact that we've got a pretty good matchup against them. Kind of awkward to draw Manamorphose. I've put a blue, so I could go Gut Shot it into Lich, which I'm still going to do, I guess. I tend to prefer, like, I guess medieval fantasy. I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. I played a lot of Dark Souls, and I guess dark fantasy is always pretty fun. Should I have kept the 7? I don't know. Maybe they don't counter the Manamorphose. I think I should cast it here. Ooh, Grixis? Or if they like the Grixis J stack. Probably a good matchup where you're kind of stumbling here a little bit. I'm a big Star Wars fan too. Although, but Star Wars content's been kind of hit or miss for a long time. I liked Ahsoka a lot. I thought Kenobi was kind of like a mediocre sandwich, where the beginning of Kenobi was pretty good, and the ending was pretty good, I thought. But the middle was like a lot of nothing. Like, Kenobi should have been like a movie. Play Bloodborne. I've played all of the FromSoft games besides Bloodborne. I sometimes do this where like there will be like a piece of media I really know I'm gonna enjoy. Like I know I'm gonna love Bloodborne and it's gonna change my life or whatever. But I just don't play it for years and years. I'm just kind of like saving it for a rainy day, I guess. Okay, so they're plotting with Jace. They're plotting an Ancestral Vision, so they get to draw 3 next turn. We're also plotting. I'm going to start off with this Highway Robbery, really hoping to not get spell snared. Looks like we're not getting spell snared. I'm going to play a Spirebluff Canal. I'm going to cast Preordain. Second spell cast of the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should have enough to just... I'll just draw it. It's okay. I can just draw it. But I don't want to. If the Misty Rainforest was something I wanted to draw, I could have drawn that, then scoured over the Lich. But I guess we can just do this. So now I've cast 3 instants or sorceries. why don't I go ahead and just gut shot this Jace Reawakened and then attack it with an Arclight Phoenix. If they don't bolt my Phoenix, that's fine. And if they do bolt my Phoenix, I will bolt the Jace probably. Okay, so I'm going to cast Demilich, I'm going to exile Highway Robbery, Manamorphose, second Preordain. Usually I cast Preordain or Scour over Consider. Sometimes maybe it makes sense to cast Consider. That's just typically what I do. Okay, your turn. 5 cards in my hand. They get in. They're about to go up to 8 with this Ancestral Visions. That being said, they're pretty behind on board, and you know these Demiliches and Phoenixes are just going to keep coming back. There's another Jace. They do plot a Valky. I guess it's not super duper likely that I get to bring back a Phoenix if I cast this Highway Robbery. Let me go ahead and try, because I could just draw like land cantrip. Wait, they're counter. There's dead, right? Okay, looking pretty good for our Phoenix trophy. Have you applied a Highway Robbery? We did this game. But yeah, Highway Robbery is good in the deck. Super important tool. Okay, let me take a look at Young Dingo's Twitter, the best place on the internet to see what kind of graveyard hate he was playing, and I'm really hoping it's nothing. Dingo, please don't put graveyard hate in your sideboard. Assuming that they're playing Dingo's list. I think that Dingo's the one that's been popularizing this. Not nothing. Dingo always respects the Gorios. So there's 2 Surgicals and a Nile Spellbomb. 2 Force of Negations. Okay. Thank you, Dingo. Oh, you know what? How weak are you to Blood Moon, Dingo? Probably not that weak. Your blue-red X deck. 2 islands, no swamp. Don't think I want to do this on the play necessarily. Thing is, these bolts are also just like kind of mid. I would like to get them out. I think I'm gonna play 1 Blood Moon over like Lightning Bolt number 4. I think I'll play 1 Surgical also. Surgical, like countering their Surgical sometimes matters. Maybe I'm just gonna play 2 Surgical on the draw, 1 Moon, 1 Surgical on the play. Okay, on the draw. Game 2 against Grixis, Jace Valky. Playing for the trophy. Opponent not very likely to cast Jace next turn. It's I guess we can keep the consider. Sometimes it's a mood whether you're like just bottom looking for creatures or keep. Yeah, so why don't I go ahead and plot this Highway Robbery, which is kind of nice because it is just going to blank my opponent's possible removal, and then we can maybe just like cast a Salvaging next turn if we feel like my opponent's not doing much. We'll almost definitely lead on a cantrip, I suppose. Could be good to draw into a Force of Negation to counter Jace next turn. I really like these kind of games where you like potentially will just like keep a card plotted for a long time. Actually, like, why don't I just like keep this and just plot another Highway Robbery so I can have like a bigger turn later, and like my opponent's just holding up counter magic, and if I'm just plotting, I get to blank that mana pretty well. Like maybe they'll draw 2 with Flame of Venor or something. I will force a Jace. No Jace, nice. Okay, so let's start off with a Manamorphose. Love to have this eat the counter here, I think. Follow this up with a Scour. Okay, then let's go. I think I'm gonna cast this discard salvaging because I kind of, if I'm gonna cast or discard the Demilich, I want to do it. I want to do it in a way that I can play around surgical. So I'll be able to discard the Demilich and then cast it, and if they and not give them a window to surgical. Just so cool to just cast this shit for 0 mana. Okay, discard the Lich, draw 2. Then we'll go discard 1. Usually don't like to keep the looters in the yard. Maybe I'll keep 1 this time, since I just can have like redundancy. Or I have redundancy to everything else. The matchup against like blue-red X is like always so fun as Phoenix. You just get to like, their like counter spells and removal spells are just so potato-y against you. I guess I don't know why I use that word, but I kind of like it. Yeah, you can choose neither on Highway Robbery, so technically it can be 2 mana, do nothing, which is not very typical for Magic cards. I'm going to try to bring this Phoenix back and try to cast something with the Lich. Ooh, no surgical. Dude, Demilich is so good. just like any interactive spell, it's like counter spells, removal spells, bounce spells that you just don't care. I have a salvaging coming off rebound, right? I think I do. 3 cards in their hand. Dude, we're so fucking back. I guess this does nothing. Yeah, they're just looting. Loot away a Scalding Tarn. Somewhat rare to like use a Force of Negation for Phoenix spell count, but I think I'm going to force this counter spell, hardcast. I'm going shields down, but I don't know. They just have 1 card in their hand. If I kill the Snapcaster, they can't Flame of Anor me, and if I kill the Jace, like a lot of their cards are much worse. And I just hardcast Phoenix and hardcast Force of Negation next turn, maybe. Let's go! A Phoenix trophy in 2024. Look great. Deck look great too. Let's go. Shout out believers. Let's do another Phoenix League.